Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to break down the journey of chessdrill, an app that went from just a simple file into a really powerful training tool. We'll look at how one single guiding philosophy, this idea of being local first, really shaped every single technical and product decision to create something unique. So let's start with this quote, because it really gets to the heart of the whole local first idea. Chessdrill is not trying to be another giant online chess website. Nope. It's a super focused training tool, and that specific vision dictates every single decision that comes next. All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to trace the life of this app through 6 key stages. First, what makes it a different kind of trainer? Then, how it went from this big, messy file to a clean, modular system. We'll look at its local first chess engine, how they added things like progression to make it addictive, and then how they built a funnel to get new users. And finally, we'll wrap up with what's coming next. Okay, let's get into it. Before we even touch the code, we gotta understand the why behind this whole thing. I mean, what problem was chessdrill even built to solve in the first place? So, instead of trying to take on the big guys with features like live multiplayer, chessdrill got super focused. The goal was to create a repetition-driven training engine that's incredibly fast and, crucially, works offline. The whole experience lives on your device, not on some distant server. All right, so to actually pull this vision off, the code itself had to grow up a bit. You just can't build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation, right? So the first thing the developers had to do was roll up their sleeves and refactor the whole code base. So get this, in the beginning, pretty much all the app's logic was just crammed into one giant JavaScript file. Yeah. So the very first big step was a major refactor. They broke all that code down into these clean, separate modules. And this wasn't just about making things look pretty, it was a huge investment in the app's future. It's like paying off your technical debt so you can actually build all the cool features you want to later on. Okay, so now that the house is in order architecturally speaking, the project was ready to tackle a really key feature. And this one perfectly captures that whole local first idea, the analysis engine. The big question was, how do you give people instant feedback on their moves without constantly hitting a server? Well, the solution was this really clever piece of browser tech called a web worker. You can just think of it like a second brain for the app. It runs all the heavy, complex stuff like, analyzing a chess position in the background. And that means the main part of the app, the part you're actually clicking on, stays super smooth and responsive. So what's the payoff here? Well, by running a lightweight version of the awesome Stockfish chess engine inside that web worker, chessdrill gives you instant, powerful analysis, completely offline. This means you get zero latency feedback without running up crazy server bills. It is the local first philosophy in action, for sure. Okay, so at this point, the app is fast, it's smart, and it works offline. That's awesome. But a tool is only good if people actually use it, right? So how do you keep people engaged when they're basically just doing a repetitive drill over and over again? Well, the answer was simple. You make it less like a chore and more like a game. So the developers built this really rich progression and motivation system right into the core experience. So instead of just giving you a simple score, they layered on all these gamification elements. We're talking experience points, levels with fun names like Noob, achievements, and even these hidden titles you can earn like Speed Demon. All of this stuff transforms a simple practice drill into something where you feel like you're making real, tangible progress. But what about an online identity? For that, they added a really lightweight cloud layer using Supabase, which is a cool open-source alternative to Firebase. But, and this is key, they stayed true to their philosophy. It's totally optional. All your core gameplay and progression data, that stays local on your device. Signing in just syncs your game to a public profile. That's it. All right, so the core product is fast, smart, and super engaging. Now for the next big challenge. How do you get people to actually find it? How did new users discover chessdrill? They came up with this really clever 2-part strategy. First, they built a layer of simple, static web pages all about different chess openings. These pages are designed to rank really well on Google. Then, on each page, there's a big button that says, Train this opening. And that click creates this perfect, seamless funnel that takes you from a Google search straight into the app, ready to play. So, what's really cool is that this well-built product isn't just a finished app. It's become a platform for all kinds of future innovation. And the roadmap is definitely ambitious. They've got plans for a full-on puzzle generator, social features like friends lists. I mean, all of this is possible because they built that solid foundation to begin with. The journey of chessdrill really shows the power of having a crystal clear product philosophy. By sticking to this local first idea and making smart, disciplined architectural choices, they built something that's both powerful and unique. It's just a great testament to the idea that you don't have to be the biggest platform to be the absolute best at one specific thing. And that leaves us with a final thought to ponder.